The subjunctive mood, explained in easy English. In this video, I will help you understand subjunctive sentences with if I were you, I wish I had, I ask that he be fired, and I insist that he stay. Hello, this is your favorite Canadian English teacher, Josh, and welcome to English Speaking 360. Here's the program for today's lesson. We're going to start with what is a mood, very important to understand. The two subjunctive tenses, the past subjunctive and the present subjunctive, fixed expressions, and finally a recap and a final quiz. Don't miss the final quiz. It's important for you guys to see if you really understand. And after watching the video, make sure that you go to my website. There you can find written explanations and also extra exercises to practice the subjunctive mood. Are you in the mood? Nah, we're not talking about that kind of mood today. English has three different moods. The first one is the indicative mood. It states a fact or an opinion. For example, she is here, or it rains a lot. This is the most common mood that we use in English. The second one is the imperative mood. This one gives a command. Be here on time, close the door, and shut up. That's also a great example. And finally, the third mood is the subjunctive mood, the one that we're going to study today. It is used for hypotheticals or imaginary situations, wishes and demands. For example, I wish she were here, or I demand that he be fired. Let's take a look at the two key subjunctive tenses. The first one that we're going to study today is the past subjunctive because it is the one that is the most common. For example, I wish I were there, or if he were taller, he would be a basketball player. The present subjunctive is a little bit less common. I suggest that she study more. It's vital that he be informed. That doesn't look right. I know it doesn't look right, but actually it is right because these sentences are all subjunctive sentences. Let me explain them to you. The most common type is the past subjunctive. That is the unreal subjunctive. For example, if I knew her number, I would call her. But in fact, I don't know her number. So the reality is very different from what I'm saying, so that's why we call it the unreal subjunctive. It is used for unreal situations or imaginary situations. And you may notice here, it looks like the simple past, but it is not the simple past. It is the subjunctive. She wishes she had $1 million, but in reality, she doesn't have $1 million. It is just an imaginary situation. I wish I didn't have to go to work today. But in reality, I do have to go to work today, and that is very, very sad. But I wish I didn't have to. I imagine myself not having to go to work today. They wish they hadn't lost the game. Oh, that happens all the time, but in reality, they have lost the game. But they are just imagining themselves winning the game. Are the past and past subjunctive the same? No, they are not the same. They look the same. That is so important for you guys to understand here. Let's take a look at an example. The verb know at the past tense is new for each person. I knew, you knew, he knew, we knew, you knew, they knew. Okay, now how about the past subjunctive? It is exactly the same. You see them. It is I knew, you knew, he knew, we knew, you knew, they knew. They are exactly 100% similar. But They are not the same. The meaning of the past tense is past. For example, I knew her number, so I called her. In the past, I knew her number, and in the past, I called her. That makes sense. Now let's take a look at a subjunctive sentence. The meaning is imaginary now. It is not past. If I knew her number, I would call her. If I knew, but I don't know her number, and here it has no connection whatsoever with the past tense. It is just an imaginary situation. It is the subjunctive mood. Wait, there is one exception. That is so important to understand. The verb be becomes were at all persons. Let me show you. Be at the subjunctive mood is I were, you were, he were, we were, you were, and they were. Now, you notice they're all the same. Now, do you know be at the past tense? It looks like this. I was, you were, he was. So was disappears at the subjunctive mood. And that is what people have trouble understanding. And many people think, oh, if I were you is a subjunctive, but if I had more money is not a subjunctive, but that is not true. Both of them are at the subjunctive mood. When be is used with I were or he were, she were, it were, is the only place in English where you can actually be certain that it's the subjunctive, because otherwise it looks like the simple past. Now let's keep going here. I'm going to show you classic cases of if I were you or I wish I were. If I were you, I would apologize. But, you know, in reality, I am not you. So that's why it is not a past tense. It is just an imaginary situation. I wish she were here with us. But in reality, she is not here. It is just my wish. It is just my imagination. He acts as if he were rich, but unfortunately, in reality, he is not rich. Let's move on to the present subjunctive. I like to call the present subjunctive the bossy subjunctive. The present subjunctive is used to express a demand, suggestion, a requirement, or even a necessity. And for this subjunctive, we use the base form of the verb for all subjects. Let me show you. The doctor recommended that he drink more water. Maybe you think there's a mistake here, but there is no mistake. It's not he drinks more water. No. That right here, drink, is the present subjunctive. Here's the formula. We start with a bossy word. Recommend. I recommend is kind of bossy, right? I recommend that you listen to me. I recommend that you watch my YouTube videos. It's bossy. After that, and then a subject, he, and finally the base verb. No S, no ing, no ed, no nothing. Just the base verb. And that is the present subjunctive. Once again, here's the formula. But we have many bossy words. Let me explain. You can have a bossy verb. The judge demanded that the room be silent. You can also have a bossy adjective. It is important that he tell the truth. A bossy noun also is possible. Their demand that the boss resign was shocking. So you see, in all of these cases here, we only use the base verb. The room be silent. He tell the truth. The boss resign. And that is the present subjunctive. Here's a list of verbs of demand, suggestion, and request. Those verbs are bossy verbs. Demand. Lucy demanded that he leave the room. Insist. She insisted that I stay for dinner. Suggest. I suggest that you see a doctor. Ask. He asked that she call him when she arrived. Request. The hotel requests that guests check out by 11 a.m. Propose. I propose that the meeting be cancelled. Urge. The government urges that everyone evacuate the area. And finally, recommend. The agent recommended that he book his flight early. Adjectives of importance or necessity. These adjectives are bossy adjectives. Important. It is important that he tell the truth. Essential. It is essential that the medicine be kept cool. Crucial. It is crucial that you be on time for the interview. Vital. It is vital that the password remains secret. Necessary. Is it necessary that I be there? And finally, imperative. It is imperative that the message reach them tonight. Once again, here you see all of them require the present subjunctive. There is no S, there is no ED, there is no ING. It is only the base form of the verb. We also have nouns of demand, nouns of suggestion. These nouns are bossy nouns. Suggestion. Her suggestion that he apologize was sensible. Demand. Their demand that the manager quit was shocking. Requirement. The requirement that all members vote is strict. Proposal. The proposal that taxes be lowered is popular. Yes, it must indeed be very popular these days. Recommendation. His recommendation that she take the job was wise. All of these bossy nouns require the present subjunctive. There is just one problem with the present subjunctive. The present subjunctive can sound formal, and that is a big issue for many people. So, in informal speech, people often replace it. Let's take a look at an example. We ask that she attend the meeting. This one is a formal sentence and it is a correct sentence. However, many people in informal speech, once again, more casual, people use the indicative. We ask that she attends the meeting. This one is informal, but it's also very common. So it's widely used, but it is not the classic subjunctive form. The formulaic subjunctive, fixed expressions. So these are set phrases for wishes, hopes, or commands. All of them use the base form of the verb. For example, God bless you. It's a wish, bless. We don't say God blesses you. Peace be with you. It is a very formal wish. Heaven forbid. Strong rejection, not heaven forbids. Come what may. It means whatever happens. So be it. Acceptance. Be that as it may is also a form of acceptance. Suffice it to say, it means it is enough to say. These are set phrases that never change. They are remnants of Old English in which the subjunctive was used way more often than it is now. Two more examples. God save the Queen is a command or even a wish. And finally, long live the king is also a wish. Here's a quick recap so you can understand even better. The two golden rules of the subjunctive. Rule number 1 is for the past subjunctive. For hypothetical if and wish sentences, use were for the verb to be. If it's not the verb to be, remember, it always looks like the past tense. Rule number 2, the present subjunctive. After bossy verbs, bossy adjectives, or bossy nouns, use the base verb, be, go, or work for all subjects. No S, no ING, no ED. It's quiz time. Test yourself. I don't want to go to that meeting. Is it necessary that I there? Try to use the verb to be in that sentence. Think about it. You ready? Is it necessary that I be there? Why do we use be? Because bossy adjectives require the present subjunctive, the base form of the verb. Question number 2. My channel can really help you improve your English skills. If I you, I would subscribe. Use the verb to be in this sentence. You ready? If I were you, I would subscribe. Why do we use were? Because it is an imaginary if sentence that requires the past subjunctive, and the past subjunctive for the verb to be is were for all subjects. Question 3. She wishes she a bigger apartment. Try to use the verb to have. Be careful here, it's a little bit more difficult. She wishes she had a bigger apartment. Why do we use had? Because it is an imaginary wish sentence. And it always requires the past subjunctive, but as we said before, it looks like the past tense, but it is not the past tense, it is the subjunctive mood. I recommend that you a specialist. That doesn't look good. Use the verb to see. I recommend that you see a specialist. Recommend is a bossy verb, so it requires the present subjunctive, the base verb. Question 5. If I a house, I wouldn't have to pay rent. Try to use the verb buy. You ready? If I bought a house, I wouldn't have to pay rent. It is an imaginary if sentence, and you have to use the past subjunctive, but it is not the verb to be, so it looks like the past tense. Question 6. Oh, that's bad luck right there. A flat tire. I wish I how to change a tire. Try to use the verb to know. I wish I knew how to change a tire. Here is an imaginary wish sentence, so it requires the past subjunctive that looks like the simple past. Question 7. He acts as if he the boss. Try to use the verb to be in this sentence, and the guy in the background of the picture is not the boss, but he acts as if he were the boss. Why do we use were? It is an imaginary if sentence, and the past subjunctive of the verb to be is were for all subjects. Question 8. The lawyer advised that her client silent. Watch out here. Try to use the verb remain. It becomes the lawyer advised that her client remain silent. Advised is a bossy verb, so you have to use the present subjunctive. Question 9. Her recommendation that the company more staff was accepted. Try to use the verb to hire. Her recommendation that the company hire more staff was accepted. Why hire and not hires? Because recommendation is a bossy noun, so it requires the present subjunctive. But, like we said, remember, many people say in informal English, her recommendation that the company hires more staff was accepted. Question 10. If he so busy, he would help us with the project. Try to use the verb to be, but at the negative form, so not be. If he weren't so busy, he would help us with the project. Yes, it is weren't, it is not wasn't, okay? This is an imaginary if sentence, and it requires the past subjunctive, he were. The verb to be is were for all subjects at the past subjunctive. How did you do on the test? Did you get a good score? If you need extra practice, don't forget to visit my website. It's super useful and it's 100% free, and it can really help you improve your English. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.